Hello, my lovelies. Come on in and have a seat. Owning a Husky is challenging. They are one of the most ancient breeds of dogs, with their lineage tracing back almost 10,000 years to the Taimyr people of Siberia. They were domesticated from the Taimyr wolf, and I named my girl Taimyr after her ancestors. They are known to be stubborn because they were bred to both work in a team and think independently. This makes sense if you think about it. You see, if a sledder wants to go straight, but the dogs sense the ice is thinning ahead of them, they have to ignore their orders and divert course. Otherwise, the entire team, the entire pack, could fall through the ice and die. So what we view as stubbornness is a deeply rooted survival instinct. It makes it very difficult to train them, and we are having issues with my Taimyr, but we're not going into that today. Huskies were developed to survive in the harshest and coldest of Arctic environments. They have double coats, with the top coat forming a water protective layer and the undercoat providing insulation. They shed year-round, but have two major sheds called blowouts each year, one in the spring and one in the fall, as their undercoats shed and prepare for the upcoming season. With the warm Alabama winter, Taimyr began her shed about a month before her Arctic counterparts. This is the amount of shed that Taimyr dropped in my bathroom over the course of one day. This is a clear indication that it is time for me to take care of her spring grooming. So today you will watch along as I groom her myself.
Before we go any farther, I just want to say welcome to Cape Bonding Country. Thank you so much for stopping by. This channel is not possible without viewer support, so please remember to like this video, subscribe and get notified, comment, and share with your friends and family.
So groomers in my area quote between $120 and $180 to groom a Husky. Huskies are known to be difficult to handle, and grooming one can take anywhere between 2.5 and 4 hours. Additionally, my local groomers insist that Huskies must be sedated before they arrive for their grooming appointment, and they must be muzzled the entire time. In light of the cost and the sedation requirement, I decided that it is best for me and my Husky if I try to learn to groom her myself. This is Vanessa. Vanessa used to be a human hairstylist, and then she moved to grooming dogs. She has 2 YouTube channels, Girl with the Dogs and Girl with the Dogs 2. I learned a lot about grooming my Husky from her, so please check out both of her channels. Girl with the Dogs 2 is where she posts the more in-depth videos showing the complete grooming process. So now let's see how well I do. So first I started by gathering my tools. I'm going to use 3 different shampoos on Taimyr. First we have the Natural Care Shed Control Shampoo. This helps loosen up the shed undercoat so it comes off more easily. Second, we have the Veterinary Formula Flea and Tick Shampoo. I use flea drops on all of my dogs. However, with Taimyr's thick coat, it doesn't seem to last as long, so I like to use a flea and tick control shampoo in order to help control the flea and ticks in Alabama. Finally, I use Oster Oatmeal Naturals to help with any itchy, dry skin. I also found this silicone shampoo dispenser brush, so I'm going to try it out and see if it helps work the shampoo through the coat down to her skin. Finally, I fill this watering can with warm water, and I will use it to irrigate the spots that are most difficult to get the water to skin level. And all of these products came from Walmart. For grooming, I have several different tools. I use a metal comb, a flea comb, which really doesn't get through Taimyr's coat very well, so I only use it if I actively see flea eggs. This is a two-sided Furminator with straight bristles on one side and bent bristles on the other. This tends to be very scratchy, so Taimyr does not like it when I use it. This is a smaller, slicker brush that Taimyr tolerates much more easily. This is an undercoat rake. It is designed to grab the shed undercoat and pull it out. Once again, it does pull on her fur, so Taimyr does not like it. This is the brush that Taimyr most prefers. It is double-sided with standard nylon bristles on one side and steel pin bristles on the other. I also have scissors and some clippers that are off camera. I have sped the video up to 5 times its original speed so that you do not have to sit through the entire hour and a half this process took. I decided to mix the flea control shampoo and the de-shedding shampoo in the dispenser, then follow it up with the oatmeal shampoo later on. And now it's time to bring in Taimyr. As you can see, she really does not want to take a bath. The shampoo dispenser definitely helped me penetrate her coat. When the bath was done, I was soaked to the bone, and so was the rest of the bathroom. This is the only outlet in my bathroom. As you can see, the wall around it is completely soaked. I believe it is not safe to plug a hairdryer or clippers into it, and Taimyr needed a break. So I dried her off with some towels and let her loose into the rest of the house. When I was done cleaning up the tub, I found her laying on my bed. In last week's video, you saw me stitching leather bracers. These are not those bracers. Those bracers turned out to be too stiff and difficult to strap on myself, so I had to go back, redesign them, use a different type of leather, and these are the result. Taimyr will get mouthy and try to bite me as I groom her, so these will help protect my arms from her bites and nips. I prefer not to muzzle her until it is absolutely necessary, since she gets very stressed out when she's muzzled. Normally, you want to fully dry a Husky before you begin the brushing and the trimming and the grooming. A strong blow dry will send most of the fur flying through the room, sticking it to the walls and sticking it to everything. But that also means that it's not in there for the brush to yank it out. However, I could not do that due to the outlet situation. I also could not plug in the clippers, so I decided to try to trim her with scissors. I feared that she would jerk and I'd end up stabbing her with them, which would be a very, very bad situation. So Doc very graciously allowed me to use his hair clippers on her. Eventually, she did become too feisty, and I had to apply the muzzle. I really wish I had a walk-in shower and a table in my house that I could groom her on, where I could attach belly bands. That would make this process so much easier. Without a means of restraining her, I had to work on whatever part of her body she chose to present towards me. She decided to lay down out of frame for most of the video, and this was a great opportunity to work on her legs, paws, and her tail. Here, I am using a letter opener to trim the matted fur from behind her ears. I saw some of these ergonomically designed razor tools for this purpose on Amazon selling for $15 or more. The only difference between the $15 ones and the $2 letter openers you get from Walmart is a padded handle. Generally, you want to avoid shaving double-coated dogs. Shaving a double-coated dog down to the skin can result in the undercoat growing back abnormally, and this can cause the undercoat to grow back in compacted, which just means you have to shave these mats out again later. Thus, it is best to avoid shaving the dog to begin with. Luckily, I caught this blowout at the beginning, so there were no areas of impacted fur, except for those mats right behind her ears. I used the longest clipper guard available and shaved with the direction of her hair so that it trimmed the overcoat and allowed the undercoat to release easier. Of course, being a Husky, she refused to stay still, so the clippers did take off more than I expected in some areas.
I can't do nothing with you.
I removed the guard when it was time to shave between her toes. I waited until the end to trim her feet, and she fought me tooth and claw.
I can't do nothing with you. I can't do nothing with you.
Since my bathroom is small, I have very few places where I can set up the camera. In her struggles to escape, she almost knocked the camera over twice. I had to stop filming and put the camera away before I finished her grooming. I hope to be able to afford a GoPro in the near future so I can capture more content of my dogs. When all was said and done, this is the pile of fur that was left over. I gathered it out of the bathtub, off of the floor, off of the walls, collected it from the brushes as I groomed her, and it includes the bits that I trimmed off. It filled a 1.5 gallon garbage pail, and it's only about 1/3 of her total blowout. For the next 4 weeks or so, I will have to brush her daily and take her outside to blow her off with the vent hose from my shop vac. By this point in time, she was done with me. She would not tolerate another second of videotaping, so I will upload a short of her and the other dogs sometime next week. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a bathroom